Excellent. So this is the second video to set up a Pro Tools section for a post-mix lab for hybrid mixing techniques course. And I've already, in the previous video, set up all the outputs with a master bus and a print bus, and I've set the ref mix aside. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is set up a workflow, and this is detailed in the instructions here. And this workflow I've worked through was created by Mike Hambrock, and I've adopted it. And essentially, it's to prepare you for all sorts of post projects that you might encounter at NESCOM. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort our tracks out and route them through separate master faders for dialogue, sound effects, ambience, and music. And all of those are going to then feed the master fader, which feeds the print track. So the first thing we're going to do is create 4, and I could type the number 4 in there. And what was I doing? Creating track, create new track. And I did that Command-Shift-N to bring it up so fast. Create 4 mono, create 4 stereo. And I really like using routing folders for this. So let's use 4 stereo routing folders. And we'll do that. And since I've clicked on master, I've selected master, it's going to put it after whatever's selected. So I'm going to get 4 new routing folders, and they're a nice color blue. And we're going to name them as follows. I use all caps in my workflow, but you can come up with your own way of doing this. But let's make one for dialogue, and we're going to make one for sound effects. We're going to make one for ambiance, and we're going to make one for music. And now we're going to kind of sort through we're going to make some buses that feed these, and where they're going to go, all 4 of those are going to go to that mix bus that we created a moment ago. So how did I do that? Sorry, I work too quickly sometimes. I held Option and Shift down, which is due to selected. So whatever selected is going to do what I want. And what I want is for it to go to the mix bus. So you can see these guys are going to the mix bus. Now, each one of these needs to be fed by its own bus. And so we got to basically use these existing buses that are created when you make the folder track. When you make folder tracks, they make buses. They're named folder 1, 2, 3, and 4. And let's rename these for what they're going to be. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to rename, and I'm going to call this one dialogue. And I don't use caps for my buses. That's how I don't do it. Right click again. Rename. This one's going to be sound effects. And this one's going to be ambience, which is basically sound effects as well, but a certain type of it. And music is the last one. So now that I've got these buses renamed, I can go work through. Now in this particular assignment, the tracks are already laid out pretty simply for you. You can say VO. Well, VO, which is voiceover, is definitely dialogue. So we'll move that to the dialogue. And these other guys, doctor, actor, actor. And you can go listen to these if you want. But in this particular session, I know already that these are also dialogue. So what am I doing? I'm doing the selected. Sorry, I keep going too fast, but I select what it is. I'm holding Option and Shift, and I'm routing them all to their way down here, the dialogue. And the feet, these are all footsteps, and the sound effects, the spaceship. So, and what did I do here? I held Shift down. I selected all those. Those are all going to go to my sound effects. So I'm holding Option Shift down and going to bus and sound effects. The ambience, well, these two obviously should go to the ambience. And I'm going to auto ambience. And I just put them to ambience. And lastly, I'm going to put the music to the music bus. So the next thing to do, and you could have done this after or before, I actually want to drag and drop these guys in the folders. So I'm going to take these 4 here that are part of the dialogue, and I'm going to take them and I'm going to drag and drop them in the dialogue. And so now they're in the folder track, and they're already routed to the folder track. And you could have done the routing before or after this. And these guys are... I can close the folder anytime I want by closing the folder. That's what's cool about folder tracks. So in case of the feet, The feet are all going to, and the sound effects, right? And the spaceship, holding down command right now to select these guys. These guys are all part of the sound effect, so I'm going there. And you can do this in either the command, either the mix or the edit window. The ambience guys, they're going to go to the ambience track, and the music's going to go to music. Now, as I said, this is the third time I said this, you could have done the routing before or after this step. But this is kind of cool because when your pro sessions grow and you have hundreds of tracks, you can go, I don't need to see the dialogue right now. I don't need to see the sound effects. I don't need to see the ambience. I don't see the music. But all the routing is there, and you can actually see like a little consolidated waveform there. So anyway,